Amenities. Mr. Suresh, could you talk about a couple of the amenities? What they should be aware of?
Yeah, when you're buying a flat in a big apartment complex, amenities play quite an important role to get that social feeling. To start with, basically, you should have proper parking. So many times they may sell you a flat, but they may not give you a parking. I have
Oh,
seen many
we've
cases
also
where,
seen cases where there is a parking spot, but they've never been able to access this parking spot. So you should also look at whether you have accessibility to your parking spot.
yeah, many times it happens. Like I have seen in a project where they marked in a paint the particular spot saying that this is a parking slot, but when you go there and see, actually a car cannot get in. Or they would have given about two or three slots in series, one behind the other. If one car goes and parks in the first slot, then two more cannot enter. So all kind of such things happen. You should be careful about checking your parking allocated. Does it have an independent entry and exit? Whether you can park it even with somebody else is not parked there. So all these things have to be checked up about the parking. One more thing is like, are the visitors' cars allowed inside, or do they have a separate parking? And many of the apartments, what I see is they don't allow parking for the visitors. But we do get visitors. Where do we ask them to park? They can't park in the main road where it can be taken out by the traffic cops. So all these things have to be checked up before you buy
That's
a home.
very interesting. Yes, it's a very debatable question, but yes, you need to be aware whether your apartment complex or society has visitor parking or not. Very well, thank you. And what about WTP and STP, Mr. Prakash? What should a homeowner be aware of? Because not many people understand what a WTP is or an STP is, and etc. Throw some light on that, please.
First of all, please check whether the builder has told you that he is going to install a WTP and STP. STP, of course, is required if it is a multi-story builder. It's
Now,
mandatory
talking
that
about
he has.
requirements, isn't even a rainwater harvesting something today required? You can add to that after you talk about WTP and STP.
All these, some of these things that they check in the document that they have received, where there is a statutory clearance given. So whenever there is a clearance given, they very clearly say what should be the minimum that they have to provide if they have to occupy this building. So the occupancy certificate will not be given unless these things are met with. So in the document that is there, they would have listed all the things that they are supposed to have. For example, sprinkler system in the basement, and after a particular height, the sprinkler has to be provided even small inside the flats. These are all some of the things that are there that would be there in that listed in the document where the authorities have given the clearance. For example, the fire escape staircase width that is mentioned. Should they have a fire escape, fire protection doors, fire escape doors, fire doors as they are called? These are some of the things that they have to check for,
So, do people
particularly.
also need to know about the fire door rating?
No, that rating they may not know, but they should know at least that the fire door is provided there. The Resident Welfare Association also, when they take over, they have to make sure whether everything that is promised there is there, whether they have manuals, whether they have got the maintenance period
Yeah,
documents,
talking about Resident
manual
Welfare Association, we'll be doing
documentation there.
another video, so where we will discuss that. So today, let's talk about the top five things when an individual is taking over. For Resident Welfare Association, we'll do another in-depth video shortly.
Okay.
Yeah. Suresh, why don't we talk about DG? Because today, there is a lot of power shortage and electricity goes off. And in a lot of buildings, people have what is called, 50% and 100% and things like that. Could you talk about that, please?
Yeah, nowadays the apartment complex comes with a DG backup. What we should be looking at is what is the percentage of backup. For example, in a very high-end apartments, they assure you of 100% backup. What it means is you can switch on any equipment as you were on electricity board power supply without any restrictions.
As
All
you're
your
on what?
equipment will
Sorry,
work.
I couldn't hear you.
You can switch on when you say 100% backup. That means you've got a 4 kilowatt load in your apartment. then you can freely switch on all the equipment in your apartment, like the fridge, the geyser, the air conditioner, or the electric stove. Still, you will be supplied with the power.
So
But
you're
whereas
saying that the
15%,
DG backup that is being provided will be such that they don't have to worry about what they switch on or switch off. It will be as though they have a normal BESCOM in Karnataka BESCOM power supply. Is that what you're saying?
is
And
just a
if it is less than that,
power
if it is 50%, then what happens, Mr. Prakash?
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Mr. Suresh talked about 100% backup from a DG.
Yes.
What happens if it's 50% backup?
They would have told you what are the things. Probably they will only allow you to put on the lights, probably a fan. You can't put on your AC. You can't run your microwave. So certain things are there so that it is only a partial load, and that you will be able to run on DG, which is they would have specified. And also you will have a control. It takes over and then will give you supply only for that many. You cannot have the other things running on it.
So
like
what
the
happens
AC
if somebody switches on, say you have 50% supply in your apartment complex, and I switch on the geyser by mistake. What happens?
Suresh,
it trips. It trips. There is a circuit breaker for that 50% backup. They would have given a circuit breaker for the 50% capacity. So if you try to switch on more, it will trip. You will not have power supply until it is somebody goes there and resets it. So it will not allow you to draw more than 50% of your load.
So are you saying that then I can switch off all the lights, all the fans, everything, and turn only on my geyser?
If that comes within 50%, definitely yes, you can.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and so that we'll be having a lot more of these very interesting conversations with people. Please subscribe so that you whenever we have a new video, you will know about it. You can reach us at Get Nemadi, and obviously we are available on WhatsApp. You can go to our website and click on the WhatsApp button to send us a message, and you know our website. Thank you very much. It's been very good. Thank you, Mr. Prakash. Thank you, Mr. Suresh. See you soon.
Thank you.
See you again. Bye bye.